All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are going to talk a little bit today about winter riding. So there's a lot of things to consider. Luckily, right now, I actually have a beautiful day. So we just got through our 2 weeks of sub-zero. I think we got down into the negative 20s from a wind chill standpoint.
5 hours later.
Without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing to think about when you are considering winter riding or cold weather riding and extending that season is you got to think about the gear. So there's certain things that you just simply want to make sure that you have covered. Honestly, keeping your core warm is one of the most important things. So if you have your core warm, your extremities will also have a better chance of staying warm. Your body will redirect that blood from your extremities to your core if it feels like it's getting too cold. So keep your core warm. Layers is a good way to do that. And you don't have to spend a whole lot. So you can go out to Walmart and get yourself actually the hoodie that I've got on right now underneath my jacket is, I think it's it's Fruit of the Loom, I think. So you can go to Walmart or Target, pick yourself up a $10 zip-up hoodie, and then throw that in a saddlebag, and you've always got an extra layer with you when you need it, and you're also not worried about it getting messed up. So just throw it in the saddlebag, leave it there throughout the entire cooler weather season, and you'll always have it. So you don't have to spend a lot, guys. You can spend a lot of money trying to get purpose-built. You can, if you're a hiker, you're probably also very versed in, very expensive outdoors gear that you can get that also work really well for motorcycle riding. So you can leverage those, and you can spend a lot of money, or for most of us out there that aren't in extreme colds, you get away with your riding jacket, an extra layer, and Fruit of the Loom. No reason to spend money if you don't need to. Now, gloves. Let's talk about gloves a little bit. That's something you need to keep your hands warm. What you see here is I've got some fairly light gloves. These are more of a liner. I used to have Tourmaster used to make some inner liners that also had leather on the palm, and those were fantastic. I bought several of those and used those for years, and I'd use them, most of the time, unless I was going to be out for a really, really long ride, or in really frigid cold. And those worked really well. Those were fantastic. And then you could also go with things like heated grips and heated gloves, or heated gear in general. The thing about that is you got to really consider how you're going to power them. Can your bike power the gear that you're wanting to wear? That's one reason why I just think it's easier, and I just lean towards my heated equipment on my bike. This bike has heated grips as well as heated seats. Heated grips is one of those things that I love. A heated glove will do a superior job in keeping your hands warm, but for me, the simplicity of being able to jump on my bike, flip a switch, and boom, I've got a heated grips and my hands are warm. That's worth a lot for me. And then you pair that with a decent set of gloves, and you're good. And then you don't have to worry about the power business, because if your bike's running, it's running, and it's work. You're not plugging yourself in every time you want to ride. So that's the gear concept. Now, when you also talk about things that are on the bike, you can do lowers. So if you want to protect your feet, keep the wind off of them, keep the cool rain off of them, you go get yourself some leather lowers, especially if you've got an engine guard. If you've got hard lowers, you're set. You can open and close those vents to your heart's content. But I think leather lowers are super easy. They pack down, throw them in a saddlebag if you don't want them on, and then pull them out when you want them. So I've got a set for this bike. I've also got the hard lowers too, but I find I just prefer to throw the leathers on if I feel like I'm going to want it on that trip. Now, could talk a lot more about gear, but I'd like to get into some of the hazards that you can run into when you're riding in the winter months. And one thing that I kind of want to throw out there is that if you are in a sub-freezing temperatures and there has been any precipitation recently or currently, just leave that bike in the garage. Don't get it out. Leave. If it's snowing, if it has snowed, if it's snowed recently and just hasn't been warm enough lately to melt all that crap off, just leave the bike in there. Don't go. Take your car. As painful as that is to say, but one of the things that you also need to consider, even if it has been, maybe it hasn't rained, is precipitation is not the only source that could put liquids on the road. So it could have been, maybe you're driving next to a car wash. Maybe it's, those things don't necessarily shut down when it's sub-freezing, and you may have water coming out onto the road. Or maybe somebody dumped something out their window. Who knows? Be cognizant of where you're riding and what could be on the road, because you may hit some ice when you didn't expect it. So be cognizant of that. The other hazard I want to talk about is your tires. So your tires do not grip the road as well in cold temperatures as they do in warmer temperatures. We all are familiar with warming up our tires before we see that race bike go down the track. There's a reason for that. It's because it makes your tires more effective at gripping the contact or the material that it's trying to grip against. So when you are on your motorcycle in winter weather, the same rules apply. You're not going to be able to hit those corners quite like you could in the warmer weather, because your tires simply won't grip it, or they won't grip it as well. So many of you guys will rip roar in the cooler months, but all I'm saying is be cautious of that, and don't trust your tires are going to behave the same way in the winter months as they do in the summer months. If you're riding in July, it's going to be very different. Let's talk about other hazards that can come out to bite you. And here's one that doesn't even involve yourself or environmental factors. People aren't expecting as many bikes to be on the road. So people, especially you're talking December months, people are out shopping for Christmas presents, and everyone's stressed. Everyone's trying to do all the holiday business, and the last thing they're thinking about is there's going to be a motorcycle out. In the summer months, there's enough of us out there that maybe folks are a little bit more aware, but to be honest, people don't pay attention anyway. But they're even less observant of motorcycles in the winter months. So be careful of that. Be defensive. You'll do better. Give yourself some distance from the car behind a car in front of you. Don't hit some tissue paper that sliding across the road. Just kidding. And you'll do a lot better. So that's the winter hazards that can come out to get you in those winter months. Comment down below if there's anything that I missed. Appreciate you all. Be safe out there and go extend your riding season.